Hi everyone, thank you for joining us today on this Friday lunchtime. My name's Sammy Charlie and I'm a marketing executive with the University of Essex Online. I'm just going to quickly introduce to you the speakers and then go through today's agenda and then we will begin. So joining us today are Dr. Jenny Apoyan-William, who is the Head of Law and Criminology, as well as Anna Tams, who is an admissions advisor. So onto the agenda for today. I'll kick things off shortly by introducing to you the University of Essex Online. We will then have Jenny, who's going to take us through the law courses that we offer here at Essex, and then followed by Anna, who's going to talk about the admissions and enrolment process. We will then have a Q&A session at the end, so do feel free to drop in any of your burning questions into the chat box throughout the session, and then we'll review and pick these up at the end of the session. So first of all, why study with us? So you'll be gaining a recognised qualification from a university that is ranked within the top 25 of universities in the United Kingdom. So we're right up there in terms of the top ranked universities nationwide, so really proud of that. There's an emphasis on the classroom experience, despite it being online, with experienced academics who bring real world perspectives such as working environments. We have programs that focus upon employability, equipping students with sector-specific skills and optional modules as well to allow you to tailor the course to your own specialism. We're also delighted to mention that the Essex Online has been rated gold in the Times Higher Education Online Learning Rankings Award for 2024. So it really reflects the university's excellence in delivering higher online education. And furthermore, we're also rated silver in the Teaching Excellence Framework. So we'll offer an interactive learning platform that is available to students on a 24/7 basis from anywhere in the world. There are also opportunities as well for one-to-one sessions with tutors, as well as live Q&A sessions and seminars. So I'll now pass over to Jenny, who's going to talk us through the law courses that we offer here at Essex Online. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Pleasure to be here. I'm Jenny Apoyan-William. So we have a range of courses. We have the undergraduate program, and we also have the postgraduate program in law. We have the single honors, which is the LLB Hunts. We also have the LLB Hunts Law with Business, LLB Hunts Law with Criminology, LLB Hunts Law with Psychology, and for postgraduates, we have the LLM in International Business Law. So our next intakes are for the undergraduate module is 27th of May and 29th July and 7th of October 2025. And for the postgraduates, the next intake is the 15th of July and the 14th of October 2025. So for our LLB Hunts Law, just as my colleague Sammy has just said, I mean, it's our programs are done exclusively online, but the LLB Hunts Law single honors and also the joint programs as LLB Law with Business, Psychology, and Criminology is much more than a degree. So when you study the LLB Hunts Law or the joint programs, you have the opportunity to unlock many doors and opportunities in terms of your career. You have so many opportunities. You either can go down the route of becoming a solicitor or becoming a barrister. So once you've done the LLB Hunts Law or the ones with the joint programs, you are also you'll be able to move on to the bar practice course and become an English qualified barrister. You would also be eligible to write the new solicitors qualifying exam, which is the SQE. And I must emphasize that as part of our law program, we have embedded the skills and the competencies that you need to be successful on the SQE, and that's if you decide to go down that route. You can also work with the civil service in your home country, or you can decide to work with the United Nations or wherever you want to go to in terms of your career. But the most important thing is that the course is very practical. The assessments and real life scenarios, we do our best to ensure that we mimic what happens in the industry so that our students not just know the law, they know the law, but they also know how it applies in the industry and in practice as well. So we have a range of modules. So we have the level four, the legal skills and context. For example, this gives you like an introduction into the English legal system, and you get to learn about academic writing and so many other things. We have the criminal law, public law, and contracts law. All of these are under the level four. So this will be the first set of modules you will study when you join with us. We also have the level five. That's the law of tort, land law, EU law, company law, and some of the other courses as you can see, modules rather, as you can see on the slide. And then the final year is a level six. By this time, you would have built up the necessary competencies and skills you need from level four and level five to move into the level six. So we have equity and trust, we use the administration of estates. We also have the final year research project, which is an optional module, but you have the opportunity to do it and have become, gain expertise in a specific area, and that would form part of your portfolio, so that before you're graduating, you already have a substantial written piece of work that you can show employers or future employers that you are a specialist or you have so much knowledge in this particular area. We have the criminal and civil litigation, commercial law, and a host of other modules at level six. So in terms of the LLB Hunslow with business, we have seen, that some students don't want to just do the single honors LLB, so they want to specialize with business. Maybe they want to, specialize with commercial law or business law or world trade law, and because of that, they want to get have like a mix of two specialisms, law and business. So if that's what you're interested in, this is the right place to be. So you gain the competencies and skills in terms of legal knowledge, and you are also exposed to other areas in terms of management, finance, and HR, because we know that no matter, this, regardless of the sector of any company or organization, there is always a legal department. If a company or organization doesn't have a legal department, they always outsource it, to a law firm, or maybe, to a body that will be a group of people that will be responsible to ensure that they meet all the legal and compliance responsibilities. So again, just like the single honors, the LLB Holmes Law with business, you are also able to progress onto the bar practice course, become an English barrister. You are also able to, become an English solicitor as well. And we also know that some of our students are able to, use our degrees, LLB Holmes Law, business, and single honors, and all the other specialisms to be able to qualify in their home jurisdictions. And so again, these are some of the modules. I've talked about that with the single honors, but if you notice, because it has business, there are some modules that are specific to business. So you have the opportunity to do that. So for example, leadership and management and teams, marketing and sales, financial decision making, business planning, project management, and some of these modules, those who do the LLB with single honors, they don't have that opportunity to do that. But when you do the LLB on law with business, you have the opportunity to build your knowledge within the business specialism. And the legal profession is emerging and it's evolving at an expanding rate. I went for a conference a couple of months ago, and I met a lawyer who is specializing in project management, and that was really very interesting to know, because even the cases that we do and we handle in the law courts, we can also classify them as projects. And so that's what he was specializing in, bringing in his legal expertise and also from, project management. So there's so many opportunities if you decide to go down this route. So we also have the LLB on law with criminology. Again, we have students. This is also another popular joint programs degree. Students are who are fascinated with criminology and wanting to learn about criminal behavior, wanting to learn about, for example, victimology, forensic psychology, all of the specifics to criminology, because law and criminology are similar, but they are two separate disciplines. So the student who does the LLB on law with criminology, is able to gain more insight into crime scene investigation. We have experts, tutors, and subject matter experts who have worked with the probation service, who have worked with policing, and you get all of that as part of your teaching, because we integrate the theory and practice together as part of our teaching and assessment strategy. So again, like the LLB on law with business, you also have the opportunity to become a solicitor, and you can also move on to the bar practice course and become a barrister as well, while of course developing your criminological knowledge. So for those of you who watch many of these legal movies and all of that, you would see that sometimes law firms have to get the expertise of criminologists and people with probation, policing experience and all of that as expert witness and all. But if you do the LLB Hunt's law with criminology, the law firm is at an extra advantage, have an advantage. So this puts you in a competitive position, compared to other colleagues. So that's if you're interested in this area, I would recommend you join us. So again, similar to the LLB Hunt's law, single honors and business, we also the modules are similar in terms of you have to do the required number of law modules. But if you look at the slide, you can see that because it's LLB Hunt's law with criminology, you get to know about forensic and criminal psychology. You also do criminology module, which is an introduction, introduces you into all the criminology theories to give you that background knowledge and the insights that somebody who is doing a criminology degree would have. So you are in a competitive advantage compared to someone doing a single honors or someone just doing a criminology degree. You also get to learn about the youth crime and justice. You get to learn about prisons, penology, probation, and criminal justice, and also the economics of crime and policing. This is the last of the LLB Hunt's law joint programs with the LLB Hunt's law with psychology. So we all know that human behavior sometimes can be very complex, and people. That's why you always have psychologists. So people are still studying human behavior, and it will always be there. So this LLB Hunt's law with psychology joint degree program gives you the opportunity to also explore aspects of psychology as part of your degree. And you know that even law firms now, they need sometimes have to get the expertise of psychologists. So that also gives you that expertise and knowledge and puts you in a competitive advantage compared to, other people in the employment, in the job market, I beg your pardon. So again, like I said previously, like with law with business and law with criminology, you're also eligible to apply and and do the required exams to become a solicitor. That's the SQE, or you can also decide to go down the route of the bar practice course and become a barrister. So again, it's the same, just like the LLB on law with business and criminology. You also have to do the required law modules. But if you note on the slide, you can see that you'll be doing some specific psychology modules, so psychological development through the lifespan, biological psychology, reasoning and decision making, and also forensic psychology, and in a host of other modules as well on the level 6 module. So that just gives you that advantage. It puts you in a position whereby you're able to gain more knowledge specific to psychology while you are also grounded in law, case law, and you can then move on to specialize in whichever area of law, but you are also have that experience in terms because you've been taught about psychology as well. You can decide to move into that area of law. So we have the LLM International Business Law. So this is for the postgraduate program, and this is for it at this level. You want to specialize, gain more experience and get more training in terms of your writing skills. You want to be able to analyze at a higher level compared to the undergraduate, which is level 4 to level 6. So this is the level 7 modules, and then here you are able to say things at an international scale, and because the undergraduate modules, you learn about contracts law, you learn about torts, English legal system, and all of that, but you don't really get that much understanding about international business law. So at the level 7, you are able to, you get more of a comprehensive degree, and you're able to distinguish yourself and become a specialist. So, for example, me, after my LLB, I did, an LLM International Commercial Law, very similar to business law, and then I specialized in world trade law. So that's my specialty. So you become known for that particular area, and then you can work in international companies, you can work with the UN, you can work, with the World Bank and all of that. It gives you, a much broader experiences as well. And you are also able to move into managerial roles for those of you who are interested in doing that, most importantly, across national borders, because it gives you that international, you learn more about international business law, what the legal frameworks in different jurisdictions and different countries. So at level 7, you can see, like I said, my specialty at master's level was World Trade Law. You get to do international business law, international competition law, legal research, skills and methods. You also have to do an international business law dissertation, commercial conflict of laws. This is where you get to find out about, how laws are conflicting in different jurisdictions and where a matter could be heard. Intellectual property law, you get to learn, for example, about trademarks, patents, and all of that. And you also get, for those of you interested in, dispute resolution, you have the opportunity when you do the LLM International Business Law to learn about commercial arbitration. That gives you that added advantage because the business world, not everything is resolved by litigation. People are now looking into other ways of resolving disputes because people don't want to destroy the business relationship. So as part of the contract, you would always see an arbitration clause because if you lose the client, you lose the business. This is going to mean that your income in the company would decline. So most business owners, companies, everybody's thinking about how can we resolve disputes, beyond going to court. And this is where arbitration, dispute resolution comes in. And I'll hand over to Anna.
Hi, thanks, Jenny. So I'm just gonna spend a bit of time today to talk you through the admissions process. So ideally, the first point of contact you'll have with the university will be with the admissions team, through an inquiry. Now, this can be email, phone, or sometimes you will have seen like an advert for one of our courses and ask for more information. So as soon as we get your details on the system, you'll be assigned a personal admissions advisor, and they will stay with you right through to enrollment, which I think is a really special thing about University of Essex Online. Most universities, you would just be dealing with like the admissions team, whereas we take ownership of your case. You have your own admissions advisor you can go to. So then once you've made your inquiries, asked any questions, you would then apply online with us. You apply directly to us. We don't do like UCAS or anything like that. And there is no application fee, which is a really good thing as well about not going through UCAS or any other service. It's completely free to apply. Once we've got your application and we've got all the documents we need, your application will then be reviewed by admissions staff and academic heads. So generally, it takes around 2 weeks from application to review, but this depends on how quickly you get documents back to us and things like that. You will then get an application outcome, ideally within a week, and this normally takes place of an email from your admissions advisor with the decision and hopefully an offer letter. Sometimes it can be a phone call, and you can always request a phone call. The beauty of having your own personal admissions advisor as well is that you can ring us at any time, and as long as that person's at work, you can get put straight through to them. If they're not, we'll just give you a ring back as soon as we're back in. And yeah, as I said, you'll hopefully then receive your offer letter. And in order to enroll, normally you would need to do an acceptance form and pay your deposit. So that is normally a 1 month fee for the course, but then you wouldn't pay for the first month. You start paying your monthly installments at month 2. So yeah, and that's just to enroll you for the course. So yeah, great. So the entry requirements for undergraduate, as you can see, there are several different routes to apply for undergraduate. You will all apply the same way through the application form, but it's normally obvious on the application if you're going through the academic route, the work experience route, or the open entry route. So in terms of the academic route, for majority of our undergraduate courses, we ask for 3 A levels or equivalent. We don't need specific grades for those A levels. We just need you to have studied for 3 A levels. We have a lot of international students, so we work out if your high school leaving qualifications are equivalent. Same for our undergraduate business degrees, except we ask for 2 A levels. And again, the equivalencies we just work out as soon as we've got your application. If you don't have qualifications beyond kind of GCSE level, you can also apply through our work experience route, which I think is really great. So we ask for 3 years relevant work experience for that, and GCSE maths and English at grade C or above. And again, that's all equivalent. So just send in the certificates you have, and we'll work out if you are qualified. For that work experience route, we will need to see your CV. And we may also need a reference from your work just to confirm your experience. But we'll let you know when you apply if that's the case. We do also have an open entry route, which is really great. For this, no qualifications or experience are needed. And what you would do, you would start on the Cert HE, which is the first, it's like third of the degree. It takes 16 months because our degrees take 4 years, our undergraduate degrees, that is. But it's equivalent to if you're studying full time the first year of a degree. And then as long as you pass that, you can progress straight onto the second year of the degree, the level 5, which is great. And if English isn't your first language, or you're not from a country where English is your first language, we do also ask for, if you have an English test, we ask for IELTS at 6.0 or above, and we do accept other exams such as the TOEFL and a few others as well. But if you don't have any English exam, that's not a problem. We do offer a free online English test as well, which I think is great. It doesn't cost you anything. It takes around between half an hour and 50 minutes. And as long as you pass that, you are fine in terms of your English language. So yeah. Entry requirements for our postgraduate courses. We do need an undergraduate degree from an approved institution equivalent to a UK honours degree or a relevant professional qualification. Again, what I say with that is we will work out if it's equivalent or not. There is a website we use and all universities in the UK use, and it's got all the equivalences on. So don't worry about whether it is equivalent or not. Just send in what you have and we can let you know. We do also have a work experience route, so we ask for at least 3 years of relevant work experience. And at postgraduate level, we will be looking for a reference as well. So just make sure you send in your CV and we'll send you a reference form to get filled out by your work, and they just send it back to us. And again, if English isn't your first language, we accept IELTS or equivalent, but we do also have that free online English test available if you don't have an English language exam already. So yeah. So just a bit about our tuition fees. So this is for the years 2024 to 2025. So this covers our May and July intakes. The fees will change slightly. They go up every October. So just so you're aware, it's only equivalent to trying to think like inflation. They don't go up much at all. So this gives you a ballpark figure. So for the Cert HE, it is £6,167 for UK applicants and £6,799 for international. In terms of the undergraduate courses, it's £18,500 for UK applicants. That covers all 4 years. And £20,396 for international. So all tuition fees are net of any sales tax payable to you in your country of residence. There are just a few countries where you will be taxed further. I've got them written down. So that is if you reside in Saudi Arabia, Singapore, or India, you will have to pay extra taxes, and that's not due to us. It's down to your kind of government laws on tax things that are taxed, basically. In terms of our postgraduate tuition fees, so the PG Cert is £4,157 for UK applicants, 4,350 for international, and then any of our full masters courses, they are £12,471 for UK applicants and £13,049 for international, and the same applies with sales tax. So, in terms of like payment methods, discounts, scholarships, we get asked a lot about these, which is understandable. You need to know what you're kind of, to expect. So we are designated for undergraduate student loans in England. Also, I believe in Wales and Northern Ireland as well. And also for postgraduate student loans. However, with the postgraduate student loans, you would need to be doing a full master's with us. Postgraduate student loans anywhere are not applicable for PG Certs or PG Dips. So for all our courses, we offer there's two payment methods basically. You can either pay up front, and if you do get 5% discount. So you'd need to pay the whole amount in order to enroll. But also we have a monthly payment plan available, and this is the option most people take, which is completely understandable. So as I mentioned previously, you would just pay the first month as a deposit, and then you would pay monthly from month 2 of the course. We do have a 10% alumni discount available for any University of Essex online and University of Essex alumni. So if you are an alumni, let us know. Just because we can't always see if people are University of Essex alumni, so just let us know, and we can confirm that. And yeah, you'll be eligible for that 10% discount. We do also have a large number of regional scholarships available. The maximum of those is 20% off your course fees. So it's for specific regions outside the UK. We also as well offer a really generous 21-day money back guarantee. So if you start the course and it's not for you within the first 3 weeks, you can withdraw and get all your money back, including your deposit or payment. We do offer course scholarships for a number of our courses, of 15%. These have only been confirmed up until July, but there might be some different ones for October courses onwards, and we offer regional scholarships as well. And those course scholarships of 15% are only on certain eligible master's degrees, but we can always send more information about them if needed. So yeah, and what is worth mentioning as well, you can only use our 5% upfront discount you can use with any of the other discounts, but the others you can only use one at a time, and we'll just award you whichever's highest. So, in terms of next steps, if you're here, if you've had all your questions answered, the courses sound good, which they do to me every time I do one of these webinars, I want to study a different course with us, I swear. So yeah, your next steps would be applying on our website with the following documents. So a personal statement. This is just to explain to us why you want to study the course. It does need to be 300 words or more, just so we can really get that passion across from you about why you want to study the course. A form, as well on the personal statement, it does have to be originally written as well. It is quite obvious when they are written by AI or ChatGPT, so we definitely do not recommend doing that, because we will just ask you for a new personal statement. So to save us all time, I would say definitely make sure that is originally written. A form of photo ID. Now, this does need to have an expiry date on, but this normally will take the form in as a passport or a driving license, or sometimes some national ID as well. Again, send what you have. We can let you know if it's suitable or not with your application. We'll need to see copies of your educational certificates and a copy of your CV. And we may ask for additional documents later, such as a reference for the work experience route. But we'll let you know if we need anything else. So yeah, and there is the link to apply.
Yeah, thank you so much, Anna and Jenny, for taking us through that. We hope you found that insightful. I did as well. And it's, yeah, like Anna said, this is the time for questions. So I can see that a number of questions have already come in now. So that's great. And I'll go through those and pass them onto the floor, really. So yeah, I'll take the first question now, which is, after successfully completing the Cert HE Law, does the student progress to year 1 or year 2 LLB Hons?
Yeah, I'll take that one. So, yeah, it's not like a foundation program. You wouldn't need to start at year 1. You would go straight on to year 2 with the rest of the year 2 students. So that Cert HE, you cover exactly the same as if you started on the full degree for the first year, and then you would, as long as you pass it, you would go on to the year 2. So it doesn't actually cost any more to go through the Cert HE route or take any longer, which I think is a real bonus, really.
Thank you. And I just wanted to add to that because I know for the master's program, obviously, we mentioned the LLM, but we know that sometimes students, because of maybe work commitments or personal commitments, you can start with the PG sets and then move on to the PG deep and then the LLM. So could we have students that
Mm,
start with PG sets, maybe they take a break and then they come back. So just like the set HE, we also have the PG set. You do that once you pass that, and you whenever you come back, you can move on to the PG deep and then move on to the LLM. So we are very flexible with that because we know that everyone is at different stages in terms of their career because we have students who are working full time and also having caring responsibilities as well.
Great, thank you. Got a number of questions actually from one person in particular, so we'll just go through those as best as we can. First of all, I believe the person's asking about their certificate that they would be achieving. So I can confirm it would be the University of Essex. It wouldn't be from Kaplan Learning. So
yeah,
yeah, it will
that's
say
correct. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so the degree certificate you get is exactly the same as if you studied on campus. It doesn't mention online. What's worth knowing is that it will say on your transcript, I forgot the word there
Yeah, the
for a second.
transcripts, yes.
It
Yeah.
will say that you studied online, but like in terms of employers and stuff, I've been asked to present my degree certificate several times, but never like the transcript or anything like that. So yeah, you would receive an identical certificate too if you studied on campus.
And just to add to that, Anna, you also have the
Mm.
opportunity to come in because we had a graduation ceremony in Essex in April, and I had the opportunity of meeting students from different parts of the world, from North America, the Middle East, Sub-Saharan Africa. So you can also attend. So basically, the only difference is that you're studying online, flexible, but you get the same certificate and the same learning experience, and adjusted to your personal life and your commitments.
I guess maybe one for you again, Jenny. So the person's asking, are the tutors academically qualified and experienced, for example, lawyers, barristers, solicitors? And are the tutors also selected from other universities in England?
Yes, so I'll start with the beginning. So you have tutors who are not just academics, who are barristers, solicitors, and people who have a wide range of experience in different areas of law. For example, we have a professor who is part of our tutors. We have people, expertise in European Union who've also worked in the EU. We have people who have been in-house counsel. So it's a wide range of expertise, and this becomes particularly useful, especially when you're doing your final research project. For example, you have the opportunity to choose, your supervisor, especially if you want to, specialize in intellectual property. So, for example, people who are teaching intellectual property, would have experience in trademarks, litigation, patents, and all of that. So we have basically, the best team, and I'm very proud to say that because obviously I don't only just head the team, but I work with them as well because especially within the legal profession, it's not just about case law. You do need to understand what's happening there in practice and also in terms of international law, for example. So we are very, we go through a rigorous process to recruit our tutors, and our tutors are, resident in the UK, but our tutors are also very research active and do a lot of research, with the Commonwealth, maybe Canada, they can do a collaborative work with somebody in Canada or in another parts of the world. But we have a wide range of expertise, and all our tutors are qualified. So not just they have UK degrees, but they also have international, degrees as well.
And another question is, would the students have access to the latest learning materials online? And this person thinks, would that be enough to have good results?
Yes, so Basically, the only difference, like I said earlier, is that you're studying online, and that's because of the fact that the world has moved. I mean, after the pandemic, everybody started seeing life differently. Even, law firms, you have people that work from home 2 days a week, or or one day a week in the office and all of that. So the pandemic has changed, our approach and all of that. So in terms of the learning content and the supports, you get the same support that that students in traditional campus or face-to-face get. So, for example, we work with our study skills team. So, study skills team, for example, will work with students, to have one-to-one sessions. Maybe for example, on Zoom, if to give you maybe like further support in terms of academic writing, in terms of referencing, because we know that some students have been away from education for quite a while and might not necessarily understand the process of referencing. So we have all of that. We also have a welfare team. We have the disability services. So we have the same kind of services you have in a traditional classroom on campus. We have it online, and the beauty about it is that you have the opportunity to book sessions or meetings with them regardless of the time zone in where you are. They are usually very flexible. We also have a student support team, and we have a number of them work varied hours because we know that we have a very diverse student body. So all you need to do is just to reach out to us if you have any questions and all of that, and we will support you. Yeah, so the learning content, we have when we develop the module outlines and all of that, and also the materials, lecture casts, and the seminars, you have access to the University of Essex library. You have access to books. You have access to LexisNexis. This is where you get all the legal database and the legal databases and the case law and all of that. You have access to Westlaw. So as a student, when I did my LLB, I did my master's, I had the opportunity. I was always on LexisNexis, on Westlaw. You have access to that. The only difference is that you are able to do it either in your lunch hour period in your office, or at the comfort of your home, or even in a coffee shop, because I know some people maybe might just like to study in a coffee shop and all of that, depending on your preference. Yeah, I used to study in a coffee shop when I was doing my PhD. Just look for one corner, and that's because I love drinking lots of coffee. So I would always take my laptop with me. So that's the only difference. That you're working, you're learning online, but everything you get in traditional classroom, you get it with us. So we even have what we call the Socrates bots. So it's can we our learning tech. We have a learning tech team who are in charge of the virtual learning platform. And there was this Pioneer Awards that was done, last year, and they developed this Socrates bot. It's kind of like a dialogue, and whereby the student engages into a conversation with the Socrates bot, and they're able to like put in questions there and learn, to help them to go back and research about the topic. So it's not that you put in something to Socrates bot and get the answer. No, it helps you to develop and go back, and you be like, okay, I need to read more maybe about forensic psychology, or I need to read more about tort law and all of that. So, and we made it to the final stage for fortunately we didn't win the award, but it was a big deal for us because our learning tech team developed that software, and we have already we've tested it with our students, and the more feedback we're getting from our students, we keep on improving and developing it as well. So you also have the opportunity of having a session with your tutors, if maybe you want to have a catch up, or the tutors have tutor office hours, and our tutors are very flexible. Again, they are mindful of the fact that people are in different time zones. So you also have the opportunity, you can email them, you can book a one-to-one with them. So all of this, like I said earlier, you just need to just access all the services that you have available to you, and all of this will be discussed during the induction. I hope that answers the question.
No, that's perfect, and I think you've answered a few other questions as well, with going into that detail. So that's great, and hopefully that's answered your question. We just have a couple more that we'll go through. One is specific regarding assessment. So our courses, I guess specific to law as well, but are they fully group or individual assignment based, or with multiple choice questions? So I think just a bit of detail they're looking for regarding the assessment as
Okay,
well.
so in terms of, we have a wide range, like I said, a wide range of assessments, because we know that we have to make sure that the students who come and join us, some of them want to go into litigation, some of them want to become in-house counsel. So we don't just have one specific assessment, because each assessment is tailored to ensuring that you build the necessary skills and competencies to be successful out there in practice, or starting your own law firm, or being an in-house counsel. So we have, group-based assignments, individual pieces of work that are written. We also have formative assessments as well. So formative assessment, it doesn't count towards your degree, but it is embedded throughout all the modules, because that way you are able to test and check your knowledge and understanding. And the formative assessment, most of the formative assessment, you get feedback and all of that. And even if you're not really sure about something, you have the opportunity to join the live seminars. You have the opportunity to reach out to your tutors. So beyond the summative assessment, we have the formative one. So once you join us, don't only focus on the final assessment, which grants obviously gives you the your final mark and your final grade. It's very important that you engage with the formative process, because all the formative assessments are designed to check your knowledge, so that it's not when you get to the final assignment that you'll be like, oh no, I don't understand that principle, in contract law, or in intellectual property law. It would have been picked up during the formative stage, and the tutor would have given you feedback. So that's the range of assessment. We also have embedded within our law modules, because we know that now to become a solicitor, you need to write the SQE. So as part of, for example, our formative assessments, and even the discussions that when we engage with moot court, for example. So we have moot focused assessments as well, because we know that when you get a law degree, you might decide to go into litigation, and these are skills that are very important that you develop. So all of these case scenarios, critical commentaries, journal entries, so just a wide range. We also have discussion forums to, so that you can get like feedback, for example, from your peers. There's a question that, for example, is set, you respond to it, you're able to research. So all of this in the induction process will be explained to you, but you are able to gain all necessary skills you need, including, how to reference, and that, gives you prepares you to be able to move into practice, or even to go into academia. We know people who do the LLB, move on to masters, and also decide to become a lecturer or go into academia. I hope that answers the question.
Just a few more questions. So this person's asking, they know that the indicative time for the Cert HE is 16 months. What is the shortest time that they can complete it in?
So, there is sometimes the opportunity to double up on modules, but it completely depends on student support and also timetabling. So we always say for all of our courses, they are organized to be part-time. So allow that 16 months, because it may be that you can do two modules at once, but then you might have to wait to do another one. Um, it's never guaranteed that you can do it any quicker than the 16 months, unfortunately. Our courses are part-time, and they're designed to be part-time because they're designed to work around work or caring responsibilities or any other responsibilities that people have. So what I always say to people applying is you need to allow the full time, and if you can do it any quicker, then that's a bonus. But yeah, we can never guarantee it, unfortunately.
Great, thank you. So we have a question as well. This concerns if a student is completing their study at the ATC Foundation Law in Malaysia, can that student gain entry into the second year with Essex Online, for example, the
Yeah.
LLB Bonds course?
Yeah, so I've had a look through this question, and I believe that college is associated with the University of Essex on campus, but affiliated, sorry, but there are different partnerships for the University of Essex on campus team and online. So I don't think it is one that we are affiliated with. However, what we could do is we can look at the qualification you've got from there, when you apply, and we can see if you're eligible for any credit or module exemptions. We will always offer module exemptions wherever we can if you've already studied at the same level. So yeah, unfortunately we can't assess eligibility before we get an application, but what I would advise is applying for the course, sending in that qualification, and we can have a look as to at what level you can start. Yeah.
We've got a couple of questions actually based on Cert HE law actually. We can kind of do it in two parts. So I guess the first one, what is the enrollment date for Cert HE law? And also, whilst completing it and in the second year, could the student continue on campus for the final year?
Yeah, so I'll have to look to my side because I have the enrollment dates here.
Perfect.
So the next enrollment date for the Cert HE is the 27th of, well, the next start date is the 27th of May. The
Yeah.
deadline for enrolling will be a week before, so the 20th of May, if my maths is right. So we would advise applying now, if possible, or as soon as you can. The start date for the July course is the 29th of July. So again, the enrollment date will be the week before that. And then we also have a start date of the 7th of October. So yeah, again, the deadline's a week before the course starts. So in terms of studying partially online and then transferring to campus, this is not an arrangement we currently have set up with campus. So it's not something we can currently offer. What you can always do is apply to study on campus for your third year, but you would have to withdraw from the University of Essex online once you have an offer from the campus team. So there are options, but yeah, unfortunately, it's not something. It is something we're potentially looking at in future. But just because of like visas and things like that, it can be really complicated. So it's not something we have in place currently.
Thank you, Anna. I believe the final question that we might have here is, so are lessons at a structured time or can I do it in my own pace? So by this, I'm referring to lectures or seminars that are at a specific time.
Yeah, so in terms of this, we do a mix, and Dr. Jenny might be able to add more to this from teaching, but we do a mix of recorded and live sessions. So the live sessions, while they are at a certain time, we do try and mix them up a bit so they hit different time zones. And they are all recorded. So you can study at your own pace to some extent within a week. We advise each course takes around it takes around 15 to 20 hours a week of study. So within your week you can basically organize it however you like. But there are set deadlines, so you can't just study like at your own pace entirely. You will have certain tasks to complete within kind of the module and things like that. But yeah, happy for Dr. Jenny to add anything on that one.
Thank you, Anna. I think you've covered virtually everything. But just to add to that, so we have the pre-recorded lecture casts, and when our tutors or SMEs when they prepared, the module outline and all of that, I review that because obviously I have an LLB and I have a master's and PhD, so we review that. We also have an internal process whereby we review the quality, of the work. And again, all our tutors are experts in different fields. We also have external examiners. So for example, even all the questions that are created beyond us creating them in-house, they are approved by the external examiner. And we have external examiners who are, professors, associate professors, doctors, specialists in their area. So you can be rest assured that all of the learning that you get from us, this virtual learning tech environment is state of the art, and it's tailored to ensure that you have the best learning experience. So beyond the pre-recorded lecture cast, we have the live seminars. So the live seminars, like Anna has said, is we try as much as possible to consider the different time zones, even when it comes to assessment. For example, when it comes to maybe oral presentations or moots and all of that, even for group presentations, the tutor thinks about the different time zone, because obviously, because you'd have been conversing with your tutor will know where you're resident, and all of these are put into consideration when this, assignment, the presentations times, for example, are fixed. But most importantly, like Anna has said, you need to dedicate at least 15 to 20 hours, work again with student support, work again with study skills. All of these support mechanisms are there. So the only time, from my experience, that maybe a student struggles is if they don't reach out to us and in time. Some students will wait until the last minute to try and avoid that. Again, don't wait until it's time for assignments before you start, with the formative one, even though it doesn't count towards your final grade. There are assignments, tests, check your knowledge questions, even the seminars, the questions for the seminars, all of them are on the learning platform which we use, which is called Moodle. So before your seminar, if, for example, you can't make that live seminar, you would have already seen the questions. Everything is there. So all you need to do is to prepare. So if you miss the live seminar, at least you've prepared. You can then go back, watch the recording, and also ask questions, of your tutor. So it's you have everything you need. We just need you to just engage, use the platform, and most importantly, reach out to us on time if you don't understand something, or if you need extra support with something. I think I've covered all of that.
Yeah, no, thank you both. That's great. Yeah, just another quick question. So this person asking about Cert HE law, how it has 4 modules, proceed to the
Yeah.
second one, then combine the third and fourth together. I know.
So each module does run after each other. So it would just depend on timetabling again. Again, I would assume that you can't do them together unless we let you know otherwise. Generally, you do the first module, then the second module, then the third, and then the fourth. It would only be because we do have different intakes if for whatever reason the third and fourth were running at the same time. But then that you would have that option, but then you would need to be prepared to study full time as well if you're doing 2 modules at once. So rather than that 15 to 20 hours a week, you're looking at more like 30 to 40. But as I said previously, there's no guarantee you can study 2 modules together ever. I would allow the time it takes to do the course, and if you can do it any quicker, then it's a bonus.
Just to add to that, Anna, so if you are considering doubling up of the modules, again, we have the student support, and they are usually the first points of contact if you have queries.
Yeah.
They would advise you, they'll tell you the pros and cons, because you also have to be aware of the deadlines, for example. So if you are doubling up on the modules, you need to be able to develop your time management skills, because I know that as students, it's not just studying. So unless you're just fully studying and you don't have any personal commitments, but if you do have personal commitments, caring, work, and all of that, you would need to engage with the student support so you can be advised in terms of time management, because we just don't we obviously we want you to complete, the degree, but we also want to make sure that you understand the implications of, doubling up of modules, and that you are aware of the support mechanisms, that are in place for you.
Yeah, absolutely. The one thing I always say to our applicants or inquirers is um, I think it's wonderful that you can study online 100%, but similar to working from home, you do have to be a bit more self-motivated than if you're studying on campus. So there's no one checking if you're going to lectures and things like that. You do need to be organized, and the flexibility is wonderful. But I think, as Dr. Jenny said, you need to be prepared and you need to be self-motivated, and just don't leave everything to the last minute. So I was definitely guilty of doing that as a student, and I promise you it's only more stressful if you do. So yeah, that self-motivation that we see in a lot of our students is really great, but it's something just to have a think about before you apply, really.
Yeah, no, 100%. I studied quite a bit online on my masters as well, so I can definitely atone to that as well. So yeah, that's great. Thank you both. And yeah, I think we can call A close to the session for today. Feel free to contact us on the Essex website, as you can see the link there, and also reach out to us on any of our social channels. But yeah, I'd just like to say thanks to everybody for attending and the speakers again for their insight, and we hope you have a wonderful weekend when it comes. So thank you very much.